Episode 2 or 3. Whatever this is.
2.0.
Brainstem.
I'm not putting 2.0.
Thanks, man.
You don't want to put 2.0 in? Is the graphic too difficult for you?
I'm not rebranding. It's the same thing.
I love how Josh is calling out graphics. Hey, Zach, how about a map over here? Hey, Zach, text. Hey, Zach, update, breaking news down here. Can you do all that?
Coming soon.
While we're still doing the live episode? Not that I'm going to think about that and say it after. I'm going to stop the whole episode and talk about it.
Listen, Zach knows.
Zach,
I have no input after we record. It's all up to Zach after that. So I have to say it during the recording.
no, you have to say it during the recording because you'll forget.
That's me.
Yes.
Oh, dang it. I wanted a graphic there. I should have said something.
You got 20 minutes.
All right, so we are on location for another episode of How Stupid People Succeed. I'm one of those stupid people, Josh Cooper. That guy is Jeremy Dunn. We have a few guests today, Jeremy.
Yes, they're not stupid. They're smarter
They
than
are
us.
brilliant people,
Yes, they
and
are.
we're very fortunate to call them our friends. This guy is Tony Young.
I'm Tony, and I'd say I'm stupid, but okay. I'll join you guys.
And then we have the legendary Nathan Riddle.
Hello.
That's it.
I am not stupid either.
Yeah, no. And then we have Dr. Tim Prater.
Doctor.
Tim Prater.
What's up?
By definition, not dumb.
Not dumb. Ain't dumb.
Yeah, so Jeremy, so what are we going to do today?
We're going to do a round robin lightning round. Each one of us is going to have a question for everybody else in the circle, and we're going to answer that question. So we're going to try to dig into some things that we're curious about each other with. And I will say, everybody in their respective field is kind of like high level, top class. What you do in real estate, unbelievable. What Tony does with art and ceramics and coffee mugs, unbelievable. I drink out of his coffee cup every day. And everybody that sees that cup for the first time stops and goes, what is that? Nathan Riddle, unbelievable barber, unbelievable business person. Tim Prater, he's a savant for the body in terms of operation, function, health. And I will say the one thing that impresses me about this group and our friends is just the overall level of compassion and care they have for their craft, their family, and the people around them. Without further ado, what's your question, Josh?
Question number 1. We're going to start with Tony. We're going to work our way around. All right?
All right, here
Go
we
the
go.
other way.
I want to pose a question. What is your biggest fear?
Ooh, okay, fun.
Biggest fear?
Sarah off camera listening to every word you say.
Yeah.
That's a live studio audience, by the way.
My wife off camera, plus many other people, including Thing One and Valpow. Man, biggest fear?
And the kitty.
You have the kid?
On your
No, I'm not
shirt.
sure.
Oh,
Gosh.
bad knees tease. But anyways, I don't know. I don't know what my biggest fear is. Maybe just. I don't know. I don't know.
The silence is not good for a podcast.
Yeah, it is awkward, isn't it?
Do anybody else?
You want to fire questions out?
Yeah.
I know. Nate,
On the
didn't give us
spot.
the leads. Nate,
You go. Let me think.
biggest fear.
Snakes.
That's it.
I'm deathly afraid of snakes.
Okay.
Like on a plane?
Like on a plane, wherever they're at, like I don't know, like I'm paralyzed in fear if I see a snake. Like I might see one at the zoo and be like, oh yeah, I can't do that. But if
Wait, at the zoo
around-
you can't even see it.
Like I can see it, but like don't get one of those things out. Don't put it around. Like,
You don't want to bet it.
So if I put a snake on your leg right now, what noise would you make?
There's already one there.
I don't know. It'd probably be silent. So I was going tubing last summer at the Mohican, and me and Toy were just floating down the river, hanging, and I thought it was a stick, and she's like, "Oh, there's a big branch like floating beside you," and I looked over, and it was
War snake.
black snake head up out of the water
Yeah.
right beside me, and I was screaming.
Oh, you're getting big noise.
Like, please pull me away. Like,
Petrified.
I don't know what it is, like
Okay.
the movement of them.
Yeah. Okay.
The symbolism of them, or the
Yeah.
feeling of them, the
Okay.
look of them.
Something in there. Something deep.
Did you,
I don't
did
like
you have a
it.
snake tattoo?
No,
No, why would he?
no.
You're up. You're next in the circle.
All right.
Failure, without a doubt. My brain tells me constantly I'm failing.
In what area?
Usually, whenever anything tries to like pop its head up and raise difficulty, my brain tries to tell me that I'm just failing at whatever I'm doing.
Interesting.
Yeah. Without hesitation, my brain was defaulted. You're not good at any of these things. So.
There's a podcast right there.
Yeah, circle back around. Really, we're doing this podcast so we take notes on other podcasts. So there we go. There's a follow up to that one. Exploring that one.
And then spiders.
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 Unreasonable.
Yeah. So I have a couple. Needles being one. Don't know why. Can't stand the idea of a thin metal object piercing your skin. Drives me nuts.
But how many tattoos do you
Yeah, tattoos.
No, that's always
It's
the argument,
poking.
though. That's the argument.
It
It's
pokes.
always about, like,
It's
It
not.
still broke you.
It's
still
needles
no.
to withdraw blood.
Yeah,
Like
that's-
long needles.
no,
it's not
yeah,
the same
the-
as a tattoo. at all.
Yeah, I can. I can take the pain. The pain's on. It's the idea of like that thing's stabbing me, and yeah, it's gross. Cats. I hate cats. I'm afraid of cats. I don't like them.
A fear of them.
Is this real?
Is it a fear of them?
I will pick up a cat and kick it like a football. I don't care. I think that.
I'm out.
He's been to my house.
I'm out.
Animals.
I keep my distance, bro. I keep no.
Secret
I
Santa
keep my
gift
distance.
this
I
coming
keep my
year.
distance. I love
I
dogs.
don't count it as a fear. He doesn't see a cat and like scream and like paralyzed fear of a cat.
No, if they, I don't let them touch me. I move out of the way.
As I said, you don't like them.
I don't know. I feel like it's. I don't know. Whatever.
You don't like 'em.
And then I think the more deeper emotional fear is not controlling time. Like time is getting away from me. I've always had this weird fear, and I remember even as a kid, of like the idea of like I'll never see tomorrow because I'm frozen in this moment of time. So even mentally, this is weird. I don't think we ever talked about this, but I do like weird mental exercises when I feel that kind of anxiety or that fear come on. Of like I'll never touch that glass, and in my head the concept of the fear is I'll never do something because I'll never be in that moment in time. So I literally just create a mental exercise of something I can control. So the mental exercise relieves me of the fear.
Created a win.
Yeah, I create a win. And I'm not joking, ever since I was a child going to bed at night, I had that fear. And it's something that's always been like a weird pop-up feeling my whole life.
Sounds like a control issue.
Yeah, probably. I don't know why you're smiling. These are facts. It's not a dig, it's the truth. It's okay.
Why would you worry so much about something you can't control at all?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'd say that's close to one of my things, man. Like even in my artwork, like I have like imagery that I consider it like chasing time. Like
Yeah.
like the ants, the like butterflies, like when whatever people
Okay,
listening
yeah.
probably don't know what I'm talking about. But there's
Yeah.
like butterflies in my artwork. Like I always see them as
Riot
time.
on Instagram.
There's always ants in the artwork.
Time,
Yeah.
time is like fleeting away, and there's never enough time to do what I need to do, to get to where I need to do,
Yeah.
to like do things with my kids. And like there's just so many things going on.
Yeah.
What was my other thing?
I feel like
Failure is always a big thing. I think a lot of us will probably like relate to lots of things, but I'm not afraid of needles, and I love cats. And I would say my other thing that I like am afraid of, people calling me. I
People
hate,
calling you.
I hate answering the phone. Literally hate answering. I hate when I text someone, and then they
call
immediately call me. I'm like, son.
You know what we're all gonna do the next time.
I know you guys are all gonna do this to me now. But like personally, like I just don't want to talk on the phone anymore, and I know that I'm just becoming my dad. My dad would sit with the phone right beside him, like right here.
Isn't that a fear we all have?
Yeah,
too?
becoming your dad. And my wife has reminded me how I am my dad in the sense of like,
Yeah.
like I go to the basement and I work on art, and I just listen to music, and I like think, I'm like, my dad used to go to the basement. And he used to listen to Journey on big speakers and do woodworking. I'm like,
Yeah.
we're the same person.
Yeah, you just use clay instead of wood.
Yeah, I just have a different medium.
All right. What's your question?
My question?
Yeah.
Man, you guys blanked me out again.
What?
Why do I have to think all the
All
time?
right,
on
we'll
this
come
show?
back. You want us to come back?
You're
to
a
you?
teacher.
it's way too late
I
today for the
know.
world.
And I'm an art teacher. I'm usually...
Let's go.
Pretty creative.
Let's go,
On top
I'll go
of
my
this.
way.
All right, go.
I think I have a question.
All right, let's go.
What is your best memory, childhood, pre 10 years old?
Oh, okay. Powerful. Oh, another podcast for another day.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
Yeah.
I'll start with this one.
Go. Yeah, go.
I mean, I just ended. I'll start. But like, my grandma used to take me and all my cousins to Cedar Point every year. And she would round all of us up, and on the way up, we'd stop. I don't even know what city we were in, but we would eat at a Perkins. We'd always get like pancakes, and then we'd go to Cedar Point, and just all day long I would just run loose with my cousins, and like,
That's awesome.
It was fun. I can remember riding the Gemini, and my one cousin was really good at basketball, so he would shoot, make hoops, win us those little basketballs, and we'd take them on the Gemini, and we would throw them back and forth, and like play catch. And if we lost one, we'd just get Kenny $2 and we'd go win another one. Because he was money. And it was awesome. Like, we would do that. We had one, I remember one time, I'm going to give you one story of this, but we threw it. It went from like the blue car to the red car, and we missed. It was like going down a hill. It missed. It hit a rail, bounced back up, and the guy caught it. Like, one of my cousins.
Oh, that's awesome.
I can't remember, but it was just cool.
Yeah.
It was always fun going on those memories. And now I hate Cedar Point, but because I have a bad back like Josh.
Yeah, not fun if you.
So probably, honestly, like my family we never did a lot. So like the big family vacation, I remember like doing with my aunt, uncle, and my other cousins in like 3rd grade in Florida, like SeaWorld and the whole business. Yeah. It was like right then, just like I don't know. That's the one that imprinted, I guess. I don't have one that sticks out a ton. There's lots of just like little family stuff. It's always just like me and my grandparents kind of stuff.
The biggest one that sticks out above all is my first Browns game. It was epic on every level. It was against the Houston Oilers. It was when Old Municipal was still there.
Warren Moon?
And Warren Moon. And I idolized it so much on TV that when I was actually there, it was like I was in another world and I couldn't believe it was happening. And we went up on, so if you're a Marion, Ohio person, my mom used to work for McCullough. We all like were on a bus going up there. This one older lady, and I was a young kid, had like the dog mask, the plastic pliable mask, and so she saw a pumped out, so she let me wear the mask the whole game. And then this drunk guy was cursing with his shirt off, and it was freezing cold. It was snow on the field and everything, but he's shirt off. Cause my mom had her hands over my ears. That's how young I was. She don't even hear some drunk guy screaming F-bombs. And I could hear everything, which I thought was awesome. Then I watched this guy get arrested, which I thought was awesome. Right. Kind of solidified my Browns fandom forever. It was my hands down top childhood memory.
I want to be him.
Yeah, no. Someday.
Me.
Yeah.
Top memory from when you're 10 years old, 10 years old and under?
Yeah.
That's a really good question because, I think right now in a lot of my life perspective right now is through my kids, right? So like how, so Rafe is 10 years old right now. And so like what were some of the things that I would remember at his age? And kind of like Tim, like there's a lot of little micro moments.
You find yourself telling stories to your kids. Well, I remember I was in 4th grade, so it had to have been like your exact age. Just happened to be.
Like, I was a baller
all the time
at football on recess. I was the 4th grade quarterback king. But yeah, and it's true. And so like there are a lot of those micro moments in life that I remember. But like probably one of the things that I think about that brings me the most joy from when I was that young was spending time at my grandma's house. I love spending time at my grandma's house, especially around Christmas. And all the little fun things that you got to do at grandma's house.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I already answered. I was first.
Oh, we're good. We're done.
Yeah. Next question.
You have a question?
We've had this question before.
No, I'm saying, do you have a question?
Yeah, I do. Like I said, me and you have done this question before, but it's been like 4 or 5 years probably.
Okay.
Are you content and satisfied?
Yes.
Explain. Explain the meaning of the difference of what it means to be both.
Yes. Content, satisfied, I would say probably for one of the few times in my life, few seasons of my life, I can say yes. Because I would say I've definitely been that person that hasn't felt that, and I would say that's probably a source of a lot of turmoil in my life because again, being dad or whatever, everybody kind of looks to you for that source of where's the peace, and nobody wants frustration in their life externally. And so I've learned a lot about myself in managing that. And so I would say the contentment comes from my kids are healthy and I'm watching them and I'm experiencing them grow up in their own way. Life's good, work's good. There's not one part of my life that I have like a negative relationship with in a way. So that's the contentment. The satisfied part of it, I would say, personally there's been challenges, but I will say professionally some stuff has happened that I never thought realistically would have happened. So I guess satisfied would be professionally. I created a Post-it note when I graduated from college and I put it on my laptop computer and I thought it was a Post-it note for like my entire career. Turning 40 this year and I've checked off every box on the Post-it note. So I'm at a point halfway through my professional career that's like I got to reset all the goals because I've already done them all.
Sure.
Which is a great feeling to be satisfied. I also think satisfied is what I've been able to provide to my kids and what I've been able to accomplish. I'm very satisfied in that. But I would say I'm definitely more content than I am satisfied because I'm probably the kind of person that once I'm satisfied with something, I immediately want to become dissatisfied and go on to the next thing.
Yeah.
So that's my best answer.
I wanted to hear the understanding of that relationship more.
Yeah.
That again, like we can do a whole podcast on that question too.
Yeah.
I am content, but I'm not always satisfied.
I feel that.
And I'm very happy with the people in my life, the things I have going on in my life. I'm very content with where I am in business, but I'm satisfied-ish, but I know there's always more.
More in what way though?
There's
More in an appetite or pursuit, or more in what?
Yeah,
Because more can be unhealthy.
No, and that could be a personality flaw of mine as well. It's like, growing up with as little as I did to being able to achieve what I have now. And a normal person may be super content with that and super satisfied with that. And like, maybe I'm not normal.
Maybe your superpower is seeing opportunity.
Yeah. And it's like, but I know there's always more. Professionally, I want to grow. I want to do all the things that I never even thought were possible. But also, even in relationships, like with my son and my daughters and my wife, I'm happy with where we're at, but also like I'm super excited to see how that's going to grow. And like I'm satisfied where we're at, but the satisfaction I think is going to be tenfold as they grow and I get to experience life with them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the ultimate satisfaction is seeing what you wanted for your kids actually pay off, right? Mm-hmm. And we're not there yet because our kids are young.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good, man. I'm very content. Like, I don't feel like I need a lot. Like I just like in life in general, as long as my family's healthy and happy, and I guess some of the satisfaction is like I really enjoy my job. And I think my wife's at a good spot and she enjoys her job, and I feel like that as a family dynamic that we don't worry about our we don't have stress in that area of our life, and financial wise we're like comfortable. Like, are we setting the world on fire? No, but like we're doing well, and I feel like we can provide everything that for our kids. I look at and think about like what I had too growing up, and like I grew up very, very below average. Even like my parents' incomes were nothing. My mom didn't even work, and my dad made like $30,000. Like it's like, and we're living on that, And it's one of those things where I just look at it going, it's crazy like what we have now and all the things we can provide for our kids, and all the things like my kids are taking piano lessons and doing all these things, and that just satisfies me knowing my kids are. You always want better for your kids, and right. I guess that's what they always say. So, yeah, man, I enjoy life, and I always though feel like there's more. Mm-hmm. I always feel like I'm not gonna like do this or do that, and I need to do that, and like I'm always pressing versus time, and like I need like 30 hours in the day instead of 24, which we all do. But I mean, that's life. That's something that we stress about, but we also like I think we all here sitting got it pretty decent, so can't complain.
Content or satisfied or both?
Yeah. Both. Yeah, what's your relationship with both right now?
I'm scatterbrained a lot. Right? So I'm always wanting to do like, and I'll talk about this in the barbershop to customers, like just about ideas and things, and networking with so many different people and talking about things with different there's so many different things you can get involved with and do, but how do you divide that time out to do all that when you do have a family and you have all this stuff to take care of? So I always say I could put this thing on cruise control and cut hair until I'm 70 years old and be just fine. It takes care of my family. We have everything we need, like you said. We're comfortable. Everything's fine.
Comfortable.
But I don't have a contentment in just doing that when I got we're at halftime, 40 years, like.
Isn't that weird?
You know?
Isn't that weird?
It's, So that's
it's
what put it
halftime,
into
yeah.
perspective.
Yeah.
It's just another number. Just hit it in November, and I'm like, well, it's messing with me. Like,
Yeah.
40.
Yeah.
And then, older people than us in the next generation, I was like, oh, I wish I was 40. Like, but it puts things into perspective about, okay, like, what route can I take now to do more, to maybe even have extra passive income, or to do the other things that you can kind of take that time that's so valuable. I think we had a conversation about time. Like, it's valuable. And I would rather do that and hang with my family and do the baseball and the stuff and the traveling and showing my kids the things that I didn't get to do as a kid. I think we all kind of have like a similar background in where we came from and what kind of middle class-ish maybe. Then I didn't get to do nothing unless it was with other friends as family.
Josh grew up poor AF. I'll just chime in for him. Josh grew up, Tim grew up pretty,
But now that I say I am
That might be a
I'm
common
content
thread.
with my income, but I have satisfaction in the things that I see my kids currently doing.
Yeah, for sure.
So there is satisfaction in that, but like you said, like there's an ultimate goal to get them somewhere.
Yeah.
I want to be present and doing all these things with them more so than driving a career and like being man, I never got to see my kids. I have customers tell me that all the time. Like, man, I worked a second shift job and I ain't really going to see none of my kids' stuff. And these are like older gentlemen that are telling me this. I'm like, I don't want to be that guy. So,
Are you cool if I expand on that real quick?
Go for it.
So I know the idea was not to expand on this, but it's kind of a quick hit. Tony's kids and wife are leaving. They're like, enough of this. But so you and I are a lot alike when it comes to that, right? It's like, hey, like if I continue to do what I'm doing right now, and the vast majority of the world would tell me that I am effing crushing it, and like, why is that not satisfying for me?
Because there's more in the tank.
but there's more to do. There's more things that like, what is life, man? Like, it's not just to sit here and exist and do nothing. It's like to be productive and to do those things.
But also, I think part of, for me, kind of the revelation that I've had, it's the legacy that I want to leave for my kids, right? So it's, so everything I do is about work-life balance. I know my wife over here in the corner, I think she would agree.
You made that sound great.
I put my wife in the corner.
You gotta have work-life balance and then shove your wife in the corner. Am I right, America?
You can put your shoes back.
Yes. We can go home later.
Yeah.
But but everything in my life is geared towards a healthy work-life balance, so I can be there. And like, there are times where I have to go and I have to go do things, but being there and being as present as I can, and it's always an evolution of me being even more present. But that journey of everything, like I do really well for myself, and I know you do really well for yourself. Like, I think all of us do really well for ourselves, but it's that work-life balance of, hey, like, how much do we want to push it to grow? And for me, it's to leave that legacy and to create that legacy and that foundation of, hey, I came from this. This is where I'm going. I want you to start at a much higher playing field than I ever even thought about imagining was a possibility as a child.
Okay, so that leads into my question. Go ahead.
No, but I think the point is, I don't think it matters where your kids start. I think it matters that your kids saw you grow.
Yeah, that's true.
That's great.
Absolutely.
Because that becomes their normal.
That's the thing you learn.
Yeah.
That's the thing you're teaching. You're not teaching them that this is what you had that I didn't. Teaching them that I can be better no matter what, and that we're never, like, I'm not satisfied because I know what God put in me.
I know you're not a psychologist, but you are a doctor.
Word.
But like, is that a personality flaw? Because I go foot down, pedal to the floor all the time when it comes to that stuff.
Is it? Would you call
When it comes to what
is it called
stuff?
a
I'm sorry.
personality flaw? Is what you call it?
Yeah, is it?
When it comes to
Why would you not call a defense mechanism for your nervous system learning how to do against the things it hated when you were a kid?
I don't know. Is that a personality flaw?
No, it sounds like your body learning. Like your brain being an amazing learning machine, seeing what it didn't like and then learning what it wanted. That's what it sounds like to me.
I don't know.
It's called optimism.
Yeah.
It's called optimism prime. Which that actually leads into my question, so now I'll jump in with my question. I think there's a deeper root to what you're saying. And knowing a little bit of all of our background and kind of origin story, beyond the contentment and satisfaction, because all of us know people that have come from the same place we've come from and are approaching life way different. And some people we know that are approaching life from a position that we'd say they're failing at life. Ultimately, whatever we've experienced, whatever we've addressed in our contentment and satisfaction, had to start with some sense of belief that we could control and create a better outcome. That's why you're never satisfied. That's why you're never satisfied. Like even your new shop, you know, you don't go in there and go, oh, I've done a new shop before, let me just recreate. You go in there with a totally new spin and creative element of, this is the vision I have for this space, right? So even though you've done it before and you know it works and you have a client base that will follow you no matter what you do and where you go, you're still trying to maximize it, trying to switch it up, right? You're not satisfied with what I've done. Tony, with the cups that you sling and what you do, you're never going, oh, this is the cup and I'm just going to make 100 of these. You're always bringing
There's always
elements
progress to be made.
Yeah. But I will say at a deeper level than that, there was at some point you believed you could make deeper progress, because we all know people that have been capable of more and for whatever reason don't believe, don't see, or don't do what they're capable of doing. So my question would be, what's the memory you have of when you had that belief in yourself that I can make this better, or I can change this, or my path can be different than what I see around me?
That's a lot of questions in one question.
That is a lot of
Can I
questions.
get the
So
we get the cliff notes
I'll tell you what. Like, hold this. I'll give my whatever. Out of the question, I think.
When
you
did
asked.
belief start in yourself for you?
Part 2.
The weird. So we were running, conditioning
running.
before freshman year, and I remember all the high school senior kids that you looked up to, like the bad football players. And we were running stair laps on the new bleachers. You had to run up and over, down, up and over, down, and run all the way back. And we do it like 15 minutes. And like 5 minutes in, I started slowing down, and it made me excited in my heart to pass them. And it was like right at that moment, I ran upstairs. I remember said, and I inside myself, and it's the mantra I've had the rest of my life is that I'm just built different than y'all. I'm built different. And like that took over, and that's been the thing. Whenever everything hits hard, like stuff gets hard, so like it doesn't faze me.
And that was the first moment you felt
That's
that.
like I knew they could find me. Like I don't care. I passed everybody, all the seniors, all the badasses, no matter what. Watch me.
That's cool.
I'm built different.
I don't know that answer.
At what point? What? Run the question again.
When did you
When
first
you really believe in yourself?
believe in yourself that you could change things?
I've never not believed in myself.
Wow. How's that possible?
Yeah.
When so
I
many
don't
people
know.
lack that.
I honestly, I don't. It's been a lifestyle. It's been
Praying grandma?
praying grandma.
Yes.
Probably that is a huge part of it.
I think it's
Honestly, it's like someone who always believed in me, and I'm thinking like, why not?
Yeah.
And like honestly, like I've always gone like why can't I be the best? Like why can't I have an amazing family? Why can't I have an amazing friends? Why can't I have an amazing house? Like why can't I have an amazing business? Why not?
It's awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I always believed in myself too, like just from a young age. Would do things that like I knew other people weren't doing, like in the sense of like, again, like that working when people weren't watching, idea. Just as far as sports and different things. But also I was like an athlete, but I also loved art and I loved just lots of different things. So I think one of the things that really changed me like in the last 10 years as like an adult is I was at Winford teaching, and I'm teaching a small rural school, and like I'm like, this is good. I enjoy it. Like this is a good place and community. And then I interviewed at like the school I'm at now in Olentangy, and I like got a job there, and I'm like, I am good. Like I'm good at this, and like I'm gonna be even better. Like I actually knew when I went there, I was scared again. Like I was kind of like, I don't know. I looked at the people that I knew that were there, and I'm like, these guys are like badasses, and they're like the best teachers. I'm like, I got to step my game up to like compete with them. Like everything's a competition. I don't know, in my head, in the sense of like, even as a teacher, like I'm in a department of 6 people, and I'm like, they are some of the best art teachers in the state. And I teach alongside of these people, and it just makes me better.
Yeah.
Because I'm along, side of them, teaching, learning from them, and like it's not like a competition thing in the sense of like I'm like trying to beat them.
Right.
I just want to be as good as them. Like
Yeah.
I don't want to be like the weak link, or So like getting hired there was one of my things that just I don't know. It's changed so many things. It gave me so many opportunities, and like I got to travel to Europe. I would have never got to do that. Like I don't have the finances or the funds if I would have been at Winford, and just getting there, I got to go to Europe. I got to do this. I got to do this workshop. I got to meet these people. I got to like. It's been such a big deal for like me and my family, and it's been a big change. So
Awesome.
Yeah.
So is that the common thread of like a young age, always believing that you could do more, and that carried over into where we're at now?
I don't know.
Probably.
Is that because I'm gonna say I'm the same way. Like I just never really thought I couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
Like I've done a lot of things. Like
So could
more
it be?
things?
So could it be the people that we surround ourselves with, and even so we were fortunate maybe as younger people that wouldn't speak those evils onto us, right? So it's like
I hung around with some not so good people.
I have different moments in life like that too, for
That
sure.
was like,
Josh, you're from Portsmouth. What are you talking about?
you could have took a completely different turn.
for
if you
sure.
stayed on the path of like, no, like,
Yeah.
It's all like what I teach my kids. It's decision making. It's like
For sure.
every single thing that we decide to do has a consequence to it, good or bad. You got to make that decision, and that's why we're at where we're at, because we stayed on that path. But but there's always going to be, people that are beside you saying, yeah, you can do a good job, but like it's ultimately our decision. So like maybe it's just
True.
having that little thing in you from a young age, or being a kid, that you're like, yeah, I can do it. And then like look where we kind of landed at this point in life because of that.
we're on a good trajectory.
That's fine, but what am I gonna do? Say the same thing everybody else says?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I can do it.
I can do it.
I can do anything, man.
Yeah.
I think, well, then adding on like later in the adult life is like, oh, I'm gonna take that talent, that skill that I have. I know I can do this better than anybody around me. I know I can do it. People have told me that, like before I was professional, like, oh, never even thought about it. But when I switched gears, I was like, I'm just gonna quit this job and go to barber school. Well, I know I can do it. So like that's one of those believing in yourself, like, this is gonna make this thing, and now I'm standing 13 years into this profession going, that's why I did this.
And I will say, for each of you, the work matched the belief. So it wasn't this entitled idea that you hear a lot of people, because all of us in what we've done, we've had plenty of people approach us about, oh, what do you do and how do you do it? And we've talked to them knowing full well, you're not willing to match the commitment it takes. Like, you're talking to me, you're hearing the answer, but I can already tell by talking to you, you're not going to put in what I put in. So, Tony, and I will say, that's one thing about you guys that has always been motivational to me, is the belief and the work have never been off balance.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you pump out freaking new cups and new posts all the time, and I'm sitting there thinking like, I'm at home eating Cheetos. What am I doing? I'm a loser, right? And then I look over and Josh is selling a house, posting this. Oh, this is coming soon to the market or whatever. And Nate's in a new shop, and Tim's on there doing his thing with the gym. And I see, these posts in the gym.
You guys all know this too. Like, whatever you see, like social media wise, I tell my kids this stuff at school. I was like, whatever you see me working, or you see an artist working, or you see someone working out, or you see. They're working probably 10 times that hard behind the scenes.
Yes.
And they also they glorify everything on social media, which social media,
the highlight reel.
can be, that's the highlight reel. But behind the scenes, you have no idea the stupid hours that
how many
everybody
fails.
puts in, and
how many misses.
Yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, or the screw ups even.
Yeah,
which I'll post sometimes just for fun. But
I'll take Zach and the
outtake.
Zach has a whole backlog.
No way.
But yeah, I will say that's a big part of it too, is you guys all match the belief with the work. And even knowing, like, Nate, to your story, dude, you were freaking a waiter at Hoggy's going through barber school. You know what I mean? Most people, they can't inconvenience themselves for the sake of the work or for the sake of the craft, but that's ultimately what it's going to demand from you. You got to pay the price, yeah.
Like, it was like tip money went in my tank to get to barber school.
Yeah.
Like, that's my story on going to that. And it's crazy. Like, to look back on that moment. Like,
Paid
this
off.
is where I'm standing now from that one decision.
So we all grinded. And in a way, the respect I have for you men is there's been a lot of success in the avenues that each one of you have chosen, which is great to be a part of.
Hey, I haven't noticed my eyes been itching a whole lot. It's 'cause Mike and Julie have a dumb cat.
So
I hate cats.
Are you
as
afraid
well.
of cats now?
I'm not afraid of them, but I hate them.
What is this? The
One last question.
We did it.
One last question. No, Tony
All right,
didn't
let's
ask.
go.
Hurry. Let's go.
So I had the whole time to think. I was thinking.
You weren't thinking.
What's your favorite color?
I was trying to think. Yeah. What's your guys' favorite color?
I know.
What is I don't know. I want to call it like a moment of clarity, or like whether it was an event or a person or just like something in your life that like it like changed you, I guess, too.
I'll go first. You can't drive to your destiny looking in your rearview mirror. And I was a young kid that had made a lot of mistakes, and I had that idea of like, hey, you're better than this, you're bigger than this. And I was driving my car and I glanced up at my rearview mirror, and it was just other than just God.
That
like,
fortune cookie.
it was just like, it was as clear as day, and it cut through every part of my soul. But it's just, you can't go where you're going staring in the rearview mirror. You got to look forward, and it changed my life forever.
Mine's relatively new, I would say. The
What?
past year. Mine's relatively new the past year. But I feel like I've justified being someone other than who I want to be based on other people's actions before in my life. I'm never going to do it again. And my life has changed completely once I made that choice. I don't care who you are, I don't care what you are. Even if you love me, and I know you love me, doesn't mean I have to act anywhere besides the way that God tells me I need to act, and that's me. Right now, just like this. It's made everything different.
Yeah.
I think that's just getting older too and maturing and like
Huge, right?
it happens. Like
Yeah.
you don't give a fuck when you get you get to that point where you're like,
No.
me, my family, that's what matters.
Yeah. This is my
Then my extended family maybe, and then like it branches out, but it's also like it doesn't.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, yeah. It's a face off.
I forget the question, so I'm gonna.
Could you repeat the question?
Like a moment of clarity in your life, or maybe it's a person like that created
Could you-
that clarity, or maybe it's
Could you use it in a sentence?
Could you like something that just like I don't know, it just enlightened you almost maybe.
I know. For me, it was I was younger in my marriage, and I didn't have a lot of direction in my life when it comes to those sort of things. And there was an event that happened, and it made me realize immediately that I knew what I wanted, and everything else in my life was surrounded around that decision. That, hey, this is what I want. I'm going to go after it. And I'm going to go... Can I say this on the podcast?
Probably. I don't know what you're saying.
I'm going to go balls deep in it. And I'm going to go hard. Over and over.
Let's put it this way: if the person gets to this point in the podcast, like they've watched this long, they deserve that. They've made it this far.
40 minutes, Zach just told us.
All right, Nate's got a moment of clarity.
I got clarity.
I'm really clear.
See so clear.
Yeah, that's a good segue to the guy that also is a complete freaking crapshoot of what he's gonna say next.
I don't know what that time is. Probably in the past few years of my life, just the way I've decided now to live is based on I won't go into all of it. It was like a series of events. It's like, hey, and you guys might have mentioned this, but I am who I am. And it's like, I'm not, like, I don't have to be some other thing for anybody else. And like that, those events that led up to that, like that was like I'm not gonna I'm allowed to be who I am.
Goes
like
back
nobody
to being,
can nobody
goes
can
back to
say
being
anything
content
about
again. Like
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
you're
true.
content. Like you
But
don't.
you're
myself.
Yeah, you're not trying to live up
my
to-
person. Yeah.
this or that. Like yeah,
I didn't really answer the question about what the moment was, but that's
all right.
It's
No,
we got
it's
here.
kind of broad. It's
We
vague.
got here. It's all right.
So, in the sake of time,
Oh,
We're gonna wrap
it's already
it up.
past 40 minutes.
our first episode back.
Second.
No, first.
Wow.
First. Just believe me. And
Okay.
go and it's the first.
Okay.
Okay. Of How Stupid People Succeed. It's a nice little kickoff that we've had with some friends. Right?
Yeah, fantastic.
You seem really committed to that.
Super committed.
You guys want a hug?
Let's hug.
Jeremy loves the hug.
No, let's just shut it down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just want to thank you guys for hanging out here, and I know we thought this was going to be 20 minutes, and it was not.
Yeah, this was supposed to be the quick version. What was the long version?
I have no
That
idea.
was a long one.
Yeah. We missed that one. We missed that. So we're just going to wrap this up. We're going to say thank you so much for stopping back in for How Stupid People Succeed. Some might say.
Not my Dragon podcast.
Done. Cut.
Thanks.